Hey guys, hello. I'm using my phone because I think it might be a little bit easier right now than using my laptop. This way I know for sure you guys can see the screen and so I can get this posted as fast as possible. All right, so this was the problem that I gave. Again, it's really similar to what you have on your worksheet, but it is not the same. So it's set up the same, but it does not have the same numbers, okay? So on your worksheet, you have a box that has the word whole, and then it has two parts. So for this example, this is like problems A and C on your paper. So A and C both have a whole number given and only one part given. All right. So I know one of them, I believe it's A, looks just like this, where the whole box is on the top and the two parts are on the bottom. And then C is reverse, where the two parts are on the top and the whole is on the bottom. But it's the same concept. It's the same thing. So when we see whole and part, it's the same thing. All right. So our job right now is to find the missing part. They gave us the whole number and they gave us one part. We need to find the missing part. Okay? So, like I said in our class today, all this is a way to visualize addition and subtraction. And when I say visualize, I mean put a picture in your mind. So when you think of addition and subtraction, you can do it the way you've been doing it normally, but you can think about it as a box that has a whole part and two parts that make it up, okay? It's a whole box and there are two parts of the box. So if we think about it this way, addition, another way to think about addition is part plus part equals whole. So another way we can view addition is part plus part equals whole. So for us, if we're looking at our box, we see that we have one part, but we're missing the second part. So just like we know addition is the reverse of subtraction and subtraction is the reverse of addition, if part plus part equals whole, then whole minus part has to equal part. And that is what we're going to use to find the missing part. Because we know that subtraction and addition are opposites, then we can switch our equation around, because we found the equation part plus part equals whole. We can switch it around for subtraction and say whole minus part equals part. Okay? And so because we did that, we can come over here and we can plug in our equation. So we see our equation down here. It says whole minus part equals part. That's all we have to do is plug in the numbers from the box. Okay? They gave us one whole number, so we put it here. So this is our whole number here. We put it here in the equation. The same equation we used down here is the same thing up here. All right? All I'm doing now is filling in numbers. So they gave us our whole number in the box. So I'm using the whole number from here. I put it there. I'm using the one part they gave us. They gave us one. We're looking for the other. So part, I put it in part. And now I can subtract. All right? So I have whole minus part equals part. And right there at the top, I have the guesses that you guys gave me. All right, so we'll see if those guesses are right in just a second. All right, let's see. Let's do this. So I have 6,331 minus 5,562. All I did was rewrite my equation from here. I rewrote it so I can solve it. That's all I did. It's the same thing. Sorry, I'm opening the marker. I bet that's a really weird noise. So let's go ahead and solve this. We know when we solve, we work with the first column. This is a column. This is the second column. Third column. Fourth column. So when I say column, I mean this. Okay? I'm going to rewrite this because it's hard to do things with one hand. But I'll rewrite it in pink and then I'll do it in blue. 6,331 minus 5,562. So we're going to work on our first column, which is 1 minus 2. Can we do 1 minus 2? No. 1 is too small to subtract 2 from it. 1 is smaller than 2, so we cannot subtract 1 minus 2. What we need to do is say, hey, 3, can you give me some numbers so I can subtract 2? So 1 will ask its friend 3, can I borrow from you? That's what this is called, borrowing. 3 says, okay, I'll give you one group of 10. We're going to talk about, you saw this in your place value video if you watched the place value. This is the ones. This column right here is ones. Right there. This is the ones column. This is the tens. Right? We remember this from the place value video. This is tens. What is this? Starts with a H. It's hundreds. Right? Remember this? So this is the ones columns, the tens, the hundreds, and this is the thousands. All right? It's thousands. So if you can't remember that, just think about it. There's one number here. That's ones. When we get our second number, our second digit, you also saw that word in the video, our second digit, that's tens. When we have 3 digits, that means we've reached the hundreds spot, the hundreds place. Remember, it's called place value. All right? And when we have a 4th digit, you see this comma right here? I don't want to see anybody not writing their thousands without commas, all right? When you have thousands, you need a comma there. After every 3 numbers, we put a comma, okay? Or I guess before every 3 numbers, we put a comma. So that's what this is. We learned from the video, we should have learned from the video yesterday, that once we increase a place, it's times 10. So ones times 10 will give us tens. 10 times 10, hundreds. 100 times 10, thousands. All right, so when I say I want one group of tens, that means I'm left with two groups of tens right here. That's why this 3 says, yeah, you can borrow one group of 10, and it becomes a 2, because you're left with 2 groups of tens in the tens column. So 1 says, thank you, but I can't just add a 1 here because I don't have a tens, right? This is not in the 10 spot. It's in the 1 spot. So when we take 1 groups of tens, we're adding 10 ones to this number, right? One group of 10 means adding 10 ones to this column. So what we did, we started with 1, we add 10, that's 11. Now we're ready to subtract. Remember what we did here is 1 was like, I'm too small to subtract 2, right? So I need to borrow from my friend in the tens spot. 3 said, okay, I'll give you one group of 10, meaning I'll become a 2, so you can add 10 ones to yourself. All right? So that's what it did. And it became 11. Now we're ready to subtract. 11 minus 2 is 9. Let's move to the next column. We're in our tens column. We have 2 minus 6. Is 2 big enough to subtract 6? No, because 2 is smaller than 6. We do the same thing. This 3, well, it's not a 3 anymore. It's a 2, right? This 2 says to this 3, hey, can I borrow a group of tens from you? It says yes. It becomes 2. This 2, because remember, we're done with the 3. We're done with this 3. This 2 says, thank you. I now have one group of tens. So it becomes 2 plus 10, which is 12. It is no longer 2, it's 12. Now we can subtract. 12 minus 6 is 6. All right? We move to the next column. 2 minus 5. It's the same thing from before. 2 is too small to subtract 5 from it. So 2 says, hey, 6, big 6, can I borrow one group of 10s? It says, sure, I'll become a 5. I'll give you one group of 10s. 2 says, thank you. 2 plus 10 is 12. 12 minus 5 is 7. We move to our next column. This is our column. This is no longer a 6, it's a 5. 5 minus 5 is 0. We don't have to write the 0. So our answer is 769. Do you see how I did that? So if you got 769, I know Michael got 769. I think Mark said 769. Aiden Chillis, I believe, said 769. There are a few of y'all that answered this correctly. We got 769 because we had to borrow. One was too small to subtract 2 from it, so it borrowed from its friend. Number 3. 3 said, sure, I'll give you one group of 10. So that became 11. 11 minus 2 equals 9. Some of y'all, what y'all did, so some of these answers, or one of these answers ends in 1. What you did was you said 2 minus 1 equals 1. That's not right. Remember, we don't go this way. We don't work up. We work down. So is 1 big enough to subtract 2 from it? No. If the answer is no, we borrow from the neighbor. We don't take from here and go up. We just borrow from the neighbor. All right? What else? Let me see what another common error was. So for this one, like I said, we started with 2. 2 is not big enough to subtract 6 from it. So 2 asked its friend 3 if it could borrow one group of 10 from it. It said yes. So that 3 became a 2. And this 2 became a 12. Now we can subtract 12 minus 6. That's 6. If we forget, we should know these facts. But if we forget, we can always count on our fingers, right? Pretty soon at the end of the year, you're not going to be counting on your fingers. You're just going to know it like that. But right now, let's count on our fingers. So if we don't know what 12 minus 6 is, we can start from 6 and count up to 12. So we say 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I had to move 6 fingers, right? If I wasn't holding the phone, I would have shown you my 6th finger. But we had to use 6 fingers to get to 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? 6 fingers to get to 12. So that means the answer right here is 6. 12 minus 6 is 6. So we move to our next column. And right here I had a 2 because this 2 borrowed from the 3 and it made me one group of 2. So I have my 2 here. It's too small. 2 is smaller than 5. It cannot take 5 from it, right? So it borrows from its neighbor. It borrows from 6. And 6 says, sure, you can have one group of 10 from me. So 6 becomes 5 because it took one group of 10s from it. And this 2 became a 12. Just like the other 2, it became a 12 because 2 plus 10 is 12. 12 minus 5 is 7. Then we move to our next column. This is no longer a 6. It's done. That was another common mistake. Once you cross out that 6, we're done with it. This is now a 5. All right? So you shouldn't have a 1 here. You should have 0. You should have nothing here because it's 5 minus 5, not 6 minus 5. Once we cross out that 6, we're done with it because it's already, you can't give something if you can't give something again if you've already given it away. All right? So it's no longer a 6. It took its jacket off. It gave that jacket to its friend 2. It's a 5. All right? It's 5 minus 5, which is 0. So the correct answer is 769. So what we can do is we can go back to our chart. Let me walk out. We can go back to our chart and plug in this missing answer. Our missing number is 769. And we found that by subtraction. So I can write 769 right there. So 6,331 minus 5,562 is 769. And so if you look at your sheet, you realize we're not done. There's one other equation on there, and it looks like this. And I apologize, I'm using my phone, but it's just a little bit faster. But this is what the equation looks like, right? You have one more equation to fill in. So this was the subtraction equation that we filled in. It said whole minus part equals part. Well, actually, I wrote those numbers there so you will know what we're looking at. But it's blank minus blank equals blank. And then the second equation you have on your paper is blank plus blank equals blank. So what do we put there? What do you think? From the equation right here, right? We think of addition by saying part plus part equals whole, right? We said it from right here. So now that we have our missing number, let's plug it in. Part, they gave us a part, 5,562. We found our second part, 769. And the whole, they already gave us, 6,331. So I take those numbers from here, the part, and the whole, and I plug it in. 5,562 plus 769 equals 6,331. We don't have to solve this because we know it's right, because subtraction and addition are the same thing but reverse, right? We see how they're made up of the same thing. There's a whole there, there's a whole here, part. We see that? There's two parts and a whole, two parts and a whole. Addition and subtraction are the same thing but reverse. So if 6,331 minus 5,562 equals 769, we know the reverse is true, meaning 5,562 plus 769 should equal 6,331. But we can check that if we're not sure. Let's check it right now. Here, let me move this. Let's check this right now. So I have 5,562 plus 769, right? What's 2 plus 9? Let's check that. Let's use our fingers. Let's start from 9 and add 2. 9, 10, 11. So we put our 1 here and we carry the other 1. So now we add this 1 to this column. 1 plus 6 is 7. 7 plus 6 is 13, right? So we put our 3 here and we carry the 1. We know why we carry, right? If a number is 10 or greater, if it's larger than 10, we put our 1s here and we carry. So that's why we had 11, and then this is 13. Okay, so 11 is right here from 2 plus 9, and 13 is right here from 1 plus 6 plus 6. Okay, so I carried my 1 after the 13. 1 plus 5 is 6. 6 plus 7, oh, we just saw that again. 6 plus 7 is 13. So I put my 3 here, and I carry my 1. 1 plus 5, because we're on our second column, is 6. I put my 6 here, and I don't forget my comma because this is a thousands, right? The numbers, look at it. It's the same. Addition is just the reverse of subtraction. It's the same thing. So we know we're right. This is correct. Okay? Hopefully this makes sense. If you need some more help with this, let me know. I'm going to see if you guys can do part B by yourself. Part B on this problem, on this page, is a little bit different than this one. So remember, this is how A and C look. You're given a whole number and you're giving one part, and you have to find the missing part. But part B on your page looks like this. Part B is like this. You're given, let's do this, two numbers right here, but they don't give you a whole number. Who knows what to do? Hint, it's right here. You already have the equation. You already have the formula on how to solve part B. Let's see if you can do it by yourself, okay? So what do I need to do in order to find these two equations and to find that whole number? So I'm looking for all of these numbers. Who knows what to plug in? If we see an addition sign, we automatically know that part plus part equals whole. We know that. If I see adding, another way to think about adding, another way to think about addition is part plus part equals whole. Same thing with my subtraction. Another way to think about subtraction is whole minus part equals part. So based on that, who can solve letter B? They give us one part, they give us a second part, but they don't give us a whole number. So what are we supposed to plug in right here? I'm going to make this an actual O. Okay. All right. I'll check your papers. I'll see if you do it right. Hopefully this makes sense. Let me know if it doesn't, and I can help you one-on-one, okay?